Memledagbe Yayiranami. Sabbath's blessings to you. This is Joshua from Chosen Vessels, the Preacher's channel. Today is 10/26, 2019, and the title of this presentation is Ascending the Hill of God, explained in the ancient Hebrew, which is the Evid. In the book of Psalm, chapter 24, verse 3, from the King James Version, we read, quote, "Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord, or who shall stand in his holy place?" Unquote. So, if we look closely at the wordings of Psalm 24, verse 3, it is obvious that ascending into the hill of the Lord is also another dark saying of Yahweh. And how do we know that? It is because a cave has a cavity which you could enter into, but not a hill. A hill does not have a cavity. So it is the contexts are different. And secondly, Yahweh does not dwell on top of a mountain as though one could climb it and reach its top to be in his presence. Howbeit, Yahweh is able to manifest his Shekinah wherever and whenever he sees fit, be it on a mountaintop or in a valley. As a matter of fact, Ezekiel, in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 8, verse 4, describes his experience of the Shekinah glory. He writes, "And behold, the glory of the God of Israel was there, according to the vision that I saw in the plain, or in the valley." And conversely, Moses also experienced the Shekinah of Yahweh on Sinai, as we read in Exodus chapter 19, verse 18. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. So, what does ascending the hill of the Lord mean? And how can one climb into the holy hill of Yahweh? And lastly, is climbing the hill of Yahweh something that people can accomplish on their own? So we're about to answer those three questions by means of the ancient Hebrew revived the complete chart. And your questions, additions, critics, or comments are all welcome, and feel free to write those in the comment section below this video. And thank you in advance for your contribution. Ascending the hill, the holy hill of God, explained in the ancient Hebrew in the Evid. Psalm 24, verse 3, "Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord, or who shall stand in his holy place?" So this is an image of a person climbing a hill. And the word for hill in the Evid is the po, the ba, and the o, or the ka and the po and the o. So this is the ba, the ka and the po. It means to assemble. It is an ensemble, a group, or a bunch. And details about that is in number 26 of the ancient Hebrew revived, the complete chart. And this is the O. It means it is important. And details of this is in number 18 of the ancient Hebrew revived, the complete chart. So altogether, the hill, it is it means it is eminent. Okay, this is the I importance. It means eminent. And assembly, this is an ensemble, and it means the congregation of the Lord. So the hill of the Lord is the great congregation, or the great assembly of the Lord. So altogether, to ascend into the hill of the Lord means to be counted Okay, to be counted among the assembly of God, to be counted in the congregation of God. So two things we have to do when dealing with the ancient Hebrew is, number one, we have to consider the form, which is uh, the uh, the physical shape or the configuration or the image, interpreting the image first. So this image here is depicting an upward movement, an upward direction, a growth, or to ascend, which is to achieve greatness. And the second thing is to take in consideration when dealing with the ancient Hebrew is the functionality of the letters. In other words, the meaning of the letters. So the letter here, it means as to assemble. It's a bunch, things grouped together. So to ascend into the hill of the Lord means literally to be counted worthy, to be counted among the saints of Yahweh. And the proof is what? If you read Psalm 24, verses 3 through 6, especially verse 6, you see it. It says what? This is what? The generation of them. All right, so a group that seek him. So men and women of Yahweh that seek thy face, O Jacob, Selah. So the hill of the Lord is a metaphor that means the congregation of Yahweh. Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord, or who shall stand in his holy place? Meaning, who shall be counted worthy to be in the congregation of the people of Yahweh? And he says, he that has clean hands and a pure heart, and hath not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully, he shall receive the blessing from the Lord, and righteousness from the God of his salvation. This is the generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, O Jacob. This is the group of those who were counted worthy by God. So is it something that a person can do on his or on her own? Can you obtain ascendancy on your own? And the answer for that is Proverbs chapter 20, verse 9. Who can say, I have made my heart clean, and I am pure from my sin? And Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 23 reads, O Lord, I know that the way of man is not in himself or in herself. It is not in man that walketh to direct his steps. And Isaiah 64 verse 6 reads, but we are all as an unclean thing, and all our righteousnesses are as filthy rags, and we all do fade as a leaf, and our iniquities like the wind have taken us away. So the answer is no. A person cannot obtain ascendancy, cannot make it, or cannot be counted worthy in the congregation of Yahweh by his or her own doings. So a pure heart is the very work of God. David writes in Psalm 51 verse 10, create in me a clean heart, O Yahweh, and renew a right spirit within me. So it is the very work of God. It is the work of the hand of God, which is Yashi, and Yashi is a person. It is through him that God gets things done. This is something that is beyond your control. It is beyond my power. This is something that only the hand of God can do. The hand of God we call is Yashi, the arm of Yahweh, or Yeshua, or Jesus. He is the miracle worker. In conclusion, the hill of the Lord means excuse me, means the congregation of the Lord. To ascend into it means to be counted among the people of Yahweh. It is a privileged place only for those whom Yahweh counts worthy. And to be counted among the people of Yahweh is not something a person can do on his own or on her own. It is not something a person can accomplish by his or her own power. It is the very work of God through Yashi, the arm of the Lord, Jesus or Yeshua. Jesus is the arm of Yah. It is another metaphor that we're going to look at another time. So Jesus is the miracle worker by and through whom Yahweh gets things done. So if you want a new life, you want a pure heart that is acceptable unto Yahweh, simply call on Jesus, the arm of Yah, Yashi. So we have more presentations coming to you soon, and stay tuned, and we'll look forward to seeing you next in our next presentation. Bye bye.